Welcome back to Ego Bros.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Guys, today we have a very special guest. We're excited to announce Dr. Dave Burcelli is going to join us on this video. He is the writer and founder of Trauma Releasing Exercises. It's something that the majority of our viewers have probably never heard of, but I promise you it will be the most important tool you have in your toolkit to release trauma, tension, and stress.
Agreed, yeah.
Hey guys, this is great. All right, so both of you know exactly when you get nervous or frightened or you get even excited because of something good, you might find that your hand shakes, or if you have to give a talk in front of the commencement speech in front of the school, your voice might quiver a little bit, or your legs might shake. That shaking is amazingly useful. It's our nervous system already telling you you're overexcited and I've got to calm us down. And so it starts to shake itself. The human body will shake itself to calm itself down. And so it's available to us, genetically encoded in us.
You were talking about animals' experiences as well, is that correct?
Yeah, well, what's interesting about it is mammals do this all the time without consciousness. And so if you look at a dog in a thunderstorm, they'll often shake like that. Or a horse, if they fall when they're running or something like that, they'll get up and they might shake for about half an hour. All over their back, you can see them tremoring like that. And all they're doing is their nervous system is calming them back down again. We are, in fact, mammals, or we have mammalian qualities, and one of those qualities is the shaking mechanism. We have inhibited the mechanism because we've defined it as fearful, weak, vulnerable, shameful, and so we don't do it freely.
In the hospital, when you shake, they try to hold you down because it's so misunderstood of why the body's shaking in the first place.
Yeah. Well, if you think of this, it's the same thing as crying. Men are really forced socially not to cry. So you see a 2-year-old will cry easily when they fall and hurt their knee. By 11 years old, they're starting to inhibit the crying because it's shame-based. But it's organic. The organism needs to cry because it needs to pulsate the diaphragm. So just as we've trained ourselves out of crying, we train ourselves out of tremoring. Meaning we're training ourselves out of natural responses in the human body that would organically reduce our stress levels. Without even trying, we're designed to do it. And yet we have a whole society of young generation of people with such high stress levels because they're not using the natural mechanisms in their body to reduce those stress levels.
What's the important of why does it start in these muscles?
Okay, first of all, the tremors usually start in the adductor muscles, which are the muscles on the inner thigh. They'll start to shake there, and there's a set of muscles called the psoas muscles, and they're on each side of the body, and they attach into the legs very close to where the adductors attach. So basically the adductors in the legs start to tremor, and then they start to move this psoas muscle to tremor because it's sort of connecting to it. It's the only set of muscles that connects the legs, the pelvis, and the spine. So it goes right through the trunk of the body, right at the base of it. And they're called the fight or flight muscles. Because if I was going to punch you, I would get down and punch. If I was going to run, I would get down and run. If I was going to kick you, I'd get down so I can kick harder. So the psoas muscles are used basically as a defensive posture muscle. And so we have to release those because they're connected all the ways up the spine, not the psoas muscle itself, but it's connected to a whole set of muscles that go all the ways up the spine and into the jaw. So if you've ever watched somebody who is really in terror, they bite down their jaw and pull forward very tightly. And they're pulling an entire set of muscle patterns that go all the ways up here, which are the muscle patterns that pull us into the fetal position to protect us from any danger.
Doctor, you're telling me that if I start letting my pelvis shake when it wants to, that I will have less anxiety or I'll have less stress? It's that easy.
Yes, think of it like this. This organism is neurophysiologically wired, meaning communication goes from top down and from bottom up. Every stress thought that you have, every stressful emotion or experience is located somewhere. It's registered in the tissue of the body as a sort of registry. So your library, your history book is the body, not the brain. And what's happening is if I can help loosen that up, If I can take a tension pattern like this that's in your lower back as an example, and that starts to soften, it sends the signal right to the brain, and the brain goes, oh, we're safe, I can let go now. So I can actually affect the way you think and feel by literally releasing the structure that you're living in.
Mind forgets, the body remembers. The brain forgets, the body remembers.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. And that little phrase or that little saying is speaking a great depth of truth. You can have access to your stories or to your emotional state, and you're empowered now to calm that down without needing the help of someone else. That's a gift.
What's the benefit if someone is watching this and being like, that doesn't look comfortable to me?
I find this all the time. People tremor for the first time. They go, oh my God, this is weird. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I understand it. But it's only weird because it's unusual to the ego. Now think of this. The ego is used to being in control of the structure. Now we're using a primitive part of the brain that the ego doesn't control. And so all of a sudden the ego's sitting there looking at itself saying, wait, what's going on? What's happening to me?
This isn't me.
But what I really love is that I've watched, it only takes maybe 2 or 3 times at the most, and the body will win. The body wins because it's producing relaxation, and then the ego goes, oh, I kind of like that.
Oh, that was me.
And then it reduces. Exactly.
And then it takes credit for it. Oh, that was me. I'm good at this.
Exactly right.
I got to work with Dr. Dave Burcelli. I went from experiencing zero emotion for the duration until I saw you. And that day I cried, a lot of crying, a lot of anger, and I laughed. I remember there was so much joy, and I remember having the conversation with you like, I haven't laughed in so long, and I know things around me that are happening are funny, but I can't act, the energy's not moving. And that's what was perfect about it. All I did was bring you out of that numb state, and then you're right there. Your emotions are ready. They want to be accessed. I felt like I had an epiphany, and there was so much suffering until that point, and then I just fell to the floor and started laughing. Like, that was it? You're telling me, wait, this is what I had to clarify to you. I said, no, you don't understand. I know you're saying it to my body, but it's up here. My brain is not cooperating. And you said, no. You fix the body, the brain will follow. And it was, I cannot tell you how much truth there is behind it.
See, what was really fun when we were watching you is as you were releasing tension, you were increasing pleasure. Do you see, if you take tension out of the body, pleasure is automatically there. See, so it just surfaces because the body goes, oh, I can breathe. It was weird how I got here, but I can breathe now. Every animal and plant has evolved and survived on the planet because of trauma, not despite it. We actually learn every traumatic experience. We actually become stronger and stronger. People who go through trauma come out of the end of the trauma recovery program different than the way they were before, and the different person is better.
Thank you so much again for joining us today. I want to thank Dr. Dave Burcelli for allowing us this opportunity. After this TRE session, I feel fantastic, very relaxed, very open, and very energized.
This is a tool that, when applied correctly and used as a daily practice, your muscles will relax, your nervous system will settle, and you will just feel this sense of relaxation and peace automatically without having to think about it.
We're going to go jump in the pool now.
Thanks.